Hello, my name is Craig Teal. I am a planner and the Director of Parkland Community Planning Services. I have been assisting the county with the MDP review and have the privilege of sharing with you information about the draft plan. This presentation was provided during the virtual open houses on the draft Clearwater County Municipal Development Plan during January and February of 2021. The presentation is approximately 30 minutes in length. First, a slide talks about what a municipal development plan is. The municipal development plan is a requirement under the province's planning legislation. Each municipality in Alberta must have one. The term statutory plan means that it is adopted by council by bylaw and is meant to have a bearing on how planning decisions are made by the county. The MDP covers all of the lands within the county's boundaries. It takes a high level, 30,000 plus feet above the earth view of the landscape and lays out policy for more site-specific decisions that are made for smaller portions of the county. The MDP looks ahead 25 to 30 years and speaks to what kinds of land use changes may occur or may be encouraged to occur over that time frame. It communicates the county's expectations for landowners who choose to subdivide or develop or make changes to their land. So for those that don't choose to pursue subdivision and development, they may not encounter the MDP policies very often. For those that do choose to go ahead with a project, their project will be subject to the various policies in the Municipal Development Plan. The MDP focuses most of its attention on physical changes to land and the use of land. This still takes into account other considerations such as environmental, economic, social, cultural, and governance matters as they relate to those future physical changes. For example, increasing the population in an area may lead to a need to look at how services are delivered, or may need to look at the infrastructure needed for that community, such as an increased road or increased park system. The MDP is part of the overall system of plans that is used by the county. It does not stand alone in isolation. The triangle that is on the screen is referred to as the planning hierarchy. It shows higher level policy at the top and very detailed decisions such as development permit decisions at the very bottom. The MDP is in the middle of the policy plans in the area highlighted as yellow. The triangle shows a relationship between different plans and decisions. The MDP takes its direction from provincial legislation, such as the Municipal Government Act or the Alberta Land Stewardship Act, and various provincial policies which are shown above it on the triangle. It also takes direction from municipal development plans where they exist, such as around the town of Rocky Mountain House and around the village of Caroline. From there, the MDP sets direction or gives policy to all of the items that fall below it on the triangle. This includes more detailed plans like an area structure plan for the Ferrier Garth area and the land use bylaw, which is used to make detailed decisions on a day-to-day basis on what's allowed to happen on a property and how development of that property will occur. The land use bylaw is one of our key tools for helping implement the policies and direction of the Municipal Development Plan. So what does the MDP contain? The MDP contains a vision for the future physical form of the community. This vision sets a general tone for the goals and policies that are presented for various topic areas that are covered off in the Municipal Development Plan. The vision is supported by a set of principles that also help guide the policy choices. The MDP itself is organized by major topic areas, such as environmentally related policies, infrastructure related policies, and this is undertaken for ease of reference. For any given planning decision, the policies of several topic areas may apply. This means that when you read the MDP and look at how it may relate to a particular project or a particular piece of land, it's important to check various policy sections for relevant policies that may have a bearing and to apply the policies as a collection or a holistic manner. Finally, the policies of the MDP relate to decisions and actions that the county is able to take. This includes things like the ability to approve a subdivision or a development, or to require an applicant to provide a certain amount of information or type of information for an approval. The MDP cannot compel others who are not subject to county approval to act or behave in a particular manner. So this means that the MDP doesn't give direction to health authorities or school authorities or provincial governments or any other planning authorities that may operate within Clearwater County. The Clearwater Municipal Development Plan does not include a map showing where future land uses are being assigned. The role of determining what uses have been allocated to various parts of the county is left to the district map that's part of the county's land use bylaw. So this map identifies areas where the county has applied various zoning over the years to various parts of the county. The map that is shown on the screen is included in the MDP, and it's been included to show the areas of the county where Clearwater County is not the planning authority. This means that the county is able to make land use planning decisions in some parts of the county, but the province makes the land use decisions in other parts of the county. In general, the county's planning authority is greater in the areas to the east or right of the orange dotted line on the map, and around any of the areas that are shown in yellow, and any of the green areas that are close to those that are shown in yellow. The yellow areas are referred to as the deeded lands, or the white area, or private property, and they are subject to county planning approval. For the area west of the orange dotted line, which is also the boundary of the Rocky Mountain Forest Reserve, the provincial government is the land use planning authority. The exception to this are the development nodes that are strung along the Highway 11 corridor, such as Nordegg and Horberg, and those are shown as red on the map in front of you. In these areas, the province has delegated planning authority and control to the county. The map also shows the 3 First Nations that are contained within the county's boundaries, and they are shown as light gray. The MDP policies do not apply to these areas. What this means for the MDP is there are large portions of land within the county's boundaries that are not directly impacted by the policies of the Municipal Development Plan. The next slide shows a little bit about the purpose of the review and the process that we've been using. The MDP review itself is part of a routine exercise or activity for a municipality to periodically review and update their plans. With 10 years having passed since the current MDP was adopted, County Council viewed it as timely to look at the overall direction and policy and see if it still fits with the desires of the community. The review is meant to address a variety of issues that have come up over the past 10 years or are expected to come up in the future. These include things such as the ability of landowners to develop and use their land for more activities that may be allowed under the current policies, the ability to subdivide for a variety of purposes, the ability to have small-scale business on an acreage or on a farm, opportunities for more tourism-related development across the county, and the ability to increase the county population and to grow and sustain local economic development. It also includes consideration of proper stewardship of the land as a shared community resource, meaning this means giving consideration to land use compatibility issues and making sure that the tools are in place to make quality, well-informed planning decisions in the future. The circle drawing on the screen shows the major process steps that have been used in the review. Step 1 occurred in January through March of 2020, involved the collection of background information and getting ideas and suggestions on changes that we should be looking into. Step 2 took place in April and June of 2020. It involved the drafting of possible changes in response to issues and suggestions from participants that provided their ideas and also from the county's own experience and suggestions. Step 3 involved the presentation of ideas to the community through a detailed workbook or a special edition of the county news that was distributed to every single household in the county, and also a bold and strike-through version of the 2010 MDP available on the county website. This step took place in July through September of 2020. Following the conclusion of Step 3 and Step 4, all the input was reviewed and was used in the writing and drafting of the document that is now up for public discussion and review. This took place in October and November of 2020. Finally, Step 5, where we are currently at in the process, involves the public review of the draft document. It is very much a work in progress, and we do wish to hear comments. After this step, or as part of this step, once we receive comments, County Council will look at the input we receive and provide further direction on changes to the document itself or changes to the overall process. The next series of slides present an overview of the content of the draft MDP. I will flag areas where changes have been made. Please bear in mind that your input is being sought on the entire document, not just those areas where a change is noted. The vision and guiding principles in the draft MDP have been updated and are more concise than the vision contained in the 2010 plan. The vision reads, Clearwater County is a prosperous and highly connected community within the naturally beautiful foothills and eastern slopes of the Rocky Mountains. The draft vision is supported by 4 guiding principles which are shown in the 4 puzzle pieces that are on the screen. They include quality of life, community social growth, economic prosperity, and environmental stewardship. The principles seek to balance environmental, social, and economic aspects. It is like a puzzle that requires all of the pieces of the puzzle to be complete. The principles speak to opportunities to live, work, and play and achieve fulfillment. They speak to the opportunity to explore and connect with places and people, and to have a variety of living options that respond to the needs of diverse households. The vision and principles also speak to diverse economic activities for employment and the creation of wealth, and all of these aspirations are linked to a natural, healthy landscape that sustains wildlife, natural functions, and our own human activities and endeavors. The next few slides will start looking at the various topic areas. The first one is natural capital and protection of the environment. The policies contained in this section of the document are very similar to the 2010 plan. The most significant change is the removal of the agricultural sections to be placed in an agriculturally dedicated section that I'll come up on another slide. Policies in the natural capital and protection of the environments section of the document include making sure surface and groundwater resources are not negatively impacted by development. This means considering water quality as well as the quantity available for natural functions and existing users. The preservation of wetlands based on the provincial wetland policy, and working within the watershed management plans that have been created since 2010 for the North Saskatchewan and Red Deer River basins. They include keeping development away from hazard areas like floodplains and steep slopes. They include advocating to the province for a variety of uses in the West Country and for the responsible management of land uses and activities in the West Country. And finally, they include assessing environmentally significant areas as development proposals are brought forward, but before they are approved, to identify what local environmentally significant features may be present, what needs to be protected, and what means of mitigating any negative impacts may have to be put in place. The next section deals with agriculture. This is a new section devoted solely to the agricultural use of land. The policies were previously contained in the natural capital and the economic development sections of the 2010 Municipal Development Plan. The policies in this section seek to encourage and support agricultural use of land and recognize that agricultural use can take many forms. It also seeks to ensure that development of land for non-agricultural uses will continue to be assessed for any negative impacts on the ability to farm. Confined feeding operations, which are not directly regulated by the county, they are regulated by the Natural Resources Conservation Board, are supported in the MDP, provided that they are a certain distance away from the town, village, summer village, hamlets, or any existing and planned areas of concentrated multi-lot residential. The residential policy section addresses the residential use of land outside of a hamlet setting, and also sets the general requirements for multi-lot residential subdivisions. It includes general criteria for determining where and how multi-lot residential can take place, and by multi-lot residential we mean any subdivision that involves the creation of 3 or more parcels in a single subdivision application. This includes a requirement to prepare an area structure plan or an outline plan, a much more detailed plan showing the layout of lots and roads, and also supported by various studies. The ability to create traditional multi-lot subdivisions using private wells and wastewater management systems on parcels that are typically between 2 to 4 acres in size has been put back into the Municipal Development Plan. This had been removed in 2010. The ability to create residential estate subdivisions using communal water and wastewater systems and typically involving smaller lots in the 1 to 2 acre size has been retained in the MDP, but this is no longer the only form of multi-lot residential development that could occur outside of a hamlet. In other words, it is no longer mandatory that this form be used. Finally, a new form of residential recreational multi-lot subdivision has been included in the MDP. This would allow for detached dwellings and recreational vehicles on individual titled lots within the same subdivision. The subdivision may be privately serviced or communally serviced, and individual parcels would determine if they want to have a cabin or detached dwelling, or to use an RV on the parcel in a recreational type fashion. The next section deals with economic development. The key directions in this section are very similar to what was contained in the 2010 Municipal Development Plan. There's some direct new content with direct reference to direct market sales, and also the proposal to use direct control for aggregate resource extraction proposals that fall within the county's jurisdiction. Commercial and industrial business parks at key locations along major roads continue to be encouraged as a preferred way to provide sites for commercial and industrial uses.